Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Rick. I'm also known as Rick's Two Cents. Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything,
How's it going, everybody?
and Roger from Roger Shop.
Good evening.
Looks like we got quite a people already in the live. Hello, hello,
Sweet.
aloha from Hawaii. Clayton said, "Everyone, please smash that like button." Yeah.
Clayton's
Hello,
a good
Clayton.
man.
Yes, he is. So, guys, got quite happy hump day, everybody. Happy hump day, everybody. I wanted to share something. What we were talking before we went live, and the one thing we keep saying is that it doesn't matter how strong your skill set is, whether it be in a laser, whether it be in a 3D printer, whether it be in woodworking, whatever it may be. To have a skill set to be able to make something, and to have a skill set to market something, or to market yourself, is a whole different ball game, right? And one of the things that a lot of people say is like a way to level the playing field, so to speak, or to give yourself, an opportunity to be exposed to the masses is Etsy, right? It's almost like the first thing people tell you, like, set up an Etsy account. But the one thing Etsy was really supposed to be was a maker's page, right? Like everything you go on there, it's supposed to be, made by a person. And like we were saying, it seems more and more that you're seeing these items are not handmade, so to speak. They're being imported. You might as well have gone on Alibaba or that type of thing because, they're directly from China. And let's be honest, if Roger's selling something from that 3D printer, he can't compete factory direct from China. There's just no way, and so that's really affecting it, I think, and I hope that changes. And if Etsy was really geared towards the maker, that it stays that way. And if you're kind of like supporting makers, then you're losing its feel by opening it to the masses by these big corporate companies. So they just released their Q between Q4, Q3, and Q2 of 2024. Since then till now, they lost 1.4 million sellers and they lost 2.4 million customers. So that has to say something.
Yeah, because I think they only had like 6 million sellers, 6.4 million or something at the peak.
Yeah.
So they've lost quite a bit. That's a big percentage.
Yeah. Q4 2024, they had 7 million sellers and 92 million customers.
Yeah. So if they lost 1.5 million of those sellers, they're hurting.
That's a lot.
I'm thinking of canceling my Etsy subscription.
Yeah,
my Etsy store. Like it's just one more thing to manage, and for the privilege of managing it, I let them take 20% every time I sell something, right? And this is the problem. But there's another. I mean, the other problem is, like, if you see somebody selling an engraved cutting board, for example, the cutting board is probably bamboo. It probably came from China. They make all the lasers, so they can save the shipping it to you, and they'll just do the engraving themselves.
Right.
So there's no way you can compete with that.
The one thing that I saw people saying is that Etsy to them is like a gateway customer, meaning that the customer make a single purchase, they now have their email, and they direct email them, and they have continued sales that no longer off Etsy. So they kind of accept Etsy as a loss, as like a Google ad campaign, so to speak, to just drive traffic to their website. So
I guess that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like I just, especially the kind of business I'm in, I don't make a million of anything, right? So quite often people will see these crazy acrylic letters that I have up there. I sell a ton of them, but a lot of them are, hey Jim, a lot of them are people who go, oh, I'd like it in this crazy font, or I want some special color that you don't have listed. And at that point I say, you want a custom order? I don't do that on Etsy. You go over to my website. Right. And I mean, it's stuff I literally can't do on Etsy because they just don't have that capability. So inevitably people, like, for every one of those orders I sell on Etsy, I probably sell 20 orders on my own site.
Yeah. So Craig says, hello from Hoffman Estates. Been watching replays for a while. First time live. Are you in Hoffman Estates, Illinois? Hoffman Estates where? So what are your guys' thoughts on this whole Etsy thing? My kind of partake on this, and do you guys have Etsy stores? Are you guys thinking of Etsy stores? Do you feel that it's losing its niche, so to speak? for the makers. What are you guys' thoughts? Please do me a favor, drop that in the comments and let me know. And
Yeah,
have you guys
yeah,
been affected by
good
this?
to have people's feedback there. Yeah, I mean, they used to promote themselves as handmade items, right? Well, I
Right.
don't think there's a whole lot that's handmade there anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I get that somebody's not going to make their own slate coaster, but
Right.
but things like cutting boards, I mean, sure, you can buy one for $1 at the dollar store, but if you're going to sell an engraved cutting board, make the cutting board. It's really not that hard.
Right. But to the fact that you said too, even with the slate coaster, think about it. Like if you order the slate coaster on Amazon, it's really there's not enough money to be made. You have to
No.
order it from like Alibaba, right?
Yeah.
You want that slate coaster for like 4 to 6 cents.
Yeah, you gotta, which means you have to order for like 500 of them, right?
Right.
So,
Right. But if you are the seller, that 4 to 6 cents is probably a penny. Right? So if they're selling directly on Etsy and it costs them a penny, man, they're making a killing.
yeah. So one of the things I've been working on this project, I mentioned my top secret project. I wanted to have a video done this week. It may not happen now because I'm trying to build something that is not like a keychain or a slate coaster or something, right? This is going to be an in-depth hard project.
Nice.
And yeah, the sad thing is it's so hard that it's taking me like 2 weeks to put it all together. So
Okay.
but in the end, people can actually do something with their laser that is so off the path from the norm of making coasters and it's cool. It'll be cool.
Nice.
So it's coming. Cross your fingers. I'll get it working at some point.
LTX Design said the man, the myth, the legend, the superhero known as the Silver Fox. At
I
work,
got the haircut this week. Yeah.
I was gonna say I need a haircut.
Really? Where? Which one?
At work they use this. I think it's called Menti. It's like this app that you can ask questions, and when you log in, it keeps score. And it's funny that as these lives go on, you can really see who are our loyal subscribers because they know our inside jokes, the pokes we make at each other when they mention it. So I thought at some point it'd be cool maybe to do that and maybe do a giveaway for something, Amazon card or something, for someone who would only know these things if they truly watch our lives,
Yeah, the loyal fans. Yeah, we should encourage the loyal fans for sure.
Pixel Creation said China price for labor is low and that's impossible to beat now. Yeah, there's no way. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you're using the same machine they're using, right? It's just like, it's one of the reasons, well, I mean, I went through the economics of making coasters, right? You can make them and you can make a little money, but you got to make 1 million of them to make a living. And, and some guy is sitting in China pumping these things off 24/7. He doesn't have to worry about that problem, right?
Right. Turbolab Fishing said, I've discovered cribbage boards? Cribbage boards? They are selling well, and I can make a number of them. Here, Bigfoot is our local mascot.
Yeah, cribbage boards I've made quite a few cribbage boards.
What is a cribbage board?
Cribbage is a card game.
Oh, okay.
That game.
Okay.
15-2, 15-4, and pairs 8 or 6, whatever. It's been a long time since I played.
I can't make fun of your typing because I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I'm like,
Oh, I just can't type. I have Grammarly installed on all my computers because my typing is so bad, and quite often I'll say, somebody will ask me a question and I'll say I want to say no, that's not the answer. The way you should do it is this way, or the way I've done it is this way. And always I miss a word or something, and then it sounds like it's like screw off kind of message, right? And it's like, okay, no. So Grammarly helps with that. I only make half as many mistakes as I used to.
Pixel Creation said my Etsy is fire basic stuff.
I think he probably means 4 basic stuff.
Yeah, 4 basic stuff.
Yeah. That's all I do. I have listings up there, but like I said, I sell a lot of these acrylic letters, but mostly it's just PDFs or SVG designs.
Yeah.
And they're not even for profit necessarily. It's really just because people watch the channel, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
People who don't want to be a member.
So. Shalom.
Old Path Woodworks. Is that a new one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Old Pat Works. Are you a new fan? I don't recognize the name.
we recognize all the cool names.
Hello from West Central Wisconsin. Hello, hello, hello. All right, Roger, you're up.
Okay, officially fed up with my P1P between the AMS always breaking and now going through hot ends and extruders. Looking into the Voron, Cyborg, and the Soval SVO8. I will say I have had no problems with my P1P. I did go through a hot end on one of my A1s after 800 hours, but that happens.
Are you going through hot ends because you're printing like carbon fiber filament or something?
And if the AMS, is it actually breaking down or is your filament breaking? If your filament's breaking, it's probably because it's wet or has a high moisture content, not necessarily wet, but if PLA filament gets a lot of moisture content into it, it becomes extremely brittle.
Old Pathward says we got to Etsy. Our opinion is rip off. Yeah, I mean they definitely take a big portion.
Yeah, they'll take 20%, but then so does Amazon. We sell on Amazon too, and they also, you can figure it's between 16 and 20%, whether it's eBay, Etsy, or Amazon.
Yeah, I closed my Etsy because I was like, man, I don't know that I'm making enough money. Like it just didn't seem. I don't know. I post on Facebook. Like I'm like you, Steve. I don't mass produce anything, right? Like I make a certain amount of something. Like I'm going to make some flower, cedar flower beds, right? I'll make 10 of them. I put 15 of them, 20 of them, whatever. Post it on Facebook, and they're gone in 3 days.
Yeah, you use Facebook. Facebook is a bit like the Wild West, though, right? There's some unseedy or seedy kind of people there.
Yeah, my wife says to me yesterday, "Why don't you focus on one thing?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Why don't you keep selling that?" I says, "Because you always have to constantly reinvent yourself. If I only have the same 3 items, like I sold to everyone that I know, and I need to continue to make sales, right? Like." I know, like I did what the last 2 years really good at the Halloween jack-o'-lanterns, but if I don't come with anything new, like at some point that may just fall off.
Yeah, well, it's a seasonal thing too, right? So, I don't know. I couldn't make that many of anything, right? I want to shoot myself in the head. It just gets so. It's just become so. Maybe it's just because where I am in life, right? Like I don't have a day job. This is my job. And if I had to make, coasters day in and day out or keychains or whatever, it would be like a job to me. And I don't want a job, right? I just want to do things that are enjoyable to me and to people who want something, right? So
makes sense. Pixel Creation said Etsy is good for zero experience seller, but in growing environment. It's a lot of waste in profits, but also made for buyers, not sellers. Yeah.
I'll agree that the support is definitely made for the buyer, but regarding profits, the stuff I have on Etsy is 20% higher than what's on my website just to cover the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, if you're just getting started, there's an argument to be made to use Etsy to get started, but it's really, as long as you understand, if you create an Etsy store when you're just getting going, it's basically slowing your growth down, right, by 20%.
Right.
So you have to be prepared for that. That's all.
LTX Design said Etsy's gotten taken over by cloned items from China for a fraction of the cost. Yeah, pretty much kind of hit it home what you're saying. Yeah. Blake said, I've been running my P1P nonstop for a year. I've had to replace one hot end. I thought that was reasonable.
Yeah, it is. Thermistors go bad, hot ends go bad, they wear out, it happens. Heaters go bad. I mean, it's a factor of it being a machine, and I consider a consumable item.
Yeah, and if you joined the live, you're in here. If you haven't already, please let us know where you're joining us from, and where you're from. Oh, so
in case you're from somewhere different than where you're joining from.
No,
that's my
I
case.
lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. I just kept going. On our Facebook group, I posted a poll, and it was, "Where are you from?" And I was like really shocked because it's not quite there yet, but we're close to like every state in the United States. So close. And then we have Canada, and we have Mexico, and a couple other countries as well. But it's getting close. So yeah, that was pretty cool to see.
So who are we missing? We'll have to canvas.
Right? Go on Facebook and search for those groups.
If you're from Missouri, you
Nebraska
could win a free
woodworking.
laser.
Chris said, "Good day from Proof Down Under. Short visit today. Appointment diabetic doctor for a new pump."
Oh,
Excuse me.
that's terrible.
You want to read this, Steve?
So LTX is responding to Blake. I'm at 833 hours on my third extruder. Wow, that's a lot. And a couple of months and going through a hot end a month from now. Not to mention the AMS has been taken apart every couple of days. Did you take yours apart, Roger?
No, I have never, other than once I had a broken filament that was on translucent PETG, and I had to take it apart to get it cleaned out. But otherwise, no, I haven't had any problems.
You must have 833 hours on your printers.
Oh, yeah, easy.
And again, those who are wondering why we may be reading the comments, because you're like, I'm very well can see them myself. Please do keep in mind there are a lot of people who actually join our live who are just listening in their ear. Maybe they'd be working or they're doing something else, and they don't have the privilege to see, so they're just listening. So we read them so that they can hear as well.
Yeah, this one here, a follow-up from last week. My Bamboo A1 was saying there was filament in the tool head, but it was empty. Found out the filament sensor went bad. They're sending a new one. That's a good deal for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really need to buy one of these Bamboo printers just to see what all the hullabaloo's about.
All the hype's about.
Yeah.
All the hype's about. Yeah. So we had talked before we went live. I did some trade swapping with a buddy of mine and gave him a laser and the Tesla V35, all three rotaries, and the extension kit. So that's who I tagged in our Facebook group. So I told him, "Welcome to the addiction." You want to read this one, Roger?
Yeah, this is my P1P. Is from the first batch. It was released a few years ago. It's put in the hours, but now it's becoming unreliable. I suppose things could wear out, but so I've got two X1 carbons behind me. There's a P1P behind me, and then over on the other side of the room where my A1s are at. And I don't have any of them running right now because it makes noise.
Roger, how old are your 3D printers?
One X1 carbon is about a year and a half old. Second one's about a year old. The P1P, several months. The A1s, one of the A1s is only about a month old, and the other one's about 3 or 4 months old. So I'm getting rid of all my bed slingers, the old bed slingers, Ender 3 V2s, and I'm going to sell the Kingman printers too. I have an Anycubic Cobra Max coming, and an Anycubic Cobra Combo coming sometime here in March.
Kathleen said, "Good evening from South Bend, Indiana." She's a local. "I hope you're doing well. Miss your colorful shirt, Roger."
I just absolutely didn't have time tonight. It's just been a wild day.
How can you not have time to put a shirt on? Like you make these things while
I didn't even have time to tuck my shirt tail in tonight.
Yes. See, again, something you would only know if you're a loyal subscriber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sell a few CNC digital files. Yeah, I think the idea behind selling files is kind of nice because it's like once you do all the upfront work, like you don't do anything, right? You just download.
No shipping involved there.
Right. So not saying there was an initial.
I think this is a new viewer too.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring something up about shipping since we just mentioned it.
Okay.
This envelope here. So for years we shipped that first class as a large envelope flat. Well, I found out today when I took a bunch of these down to the post office and dropped them off, I can no longer do that because if it's thicker than 3/8 of an inch, it becomes a parcel. So instead of shipping a 2-ounce first class in an envelope like this for $1.70, it's now $4.70.
Mm.
And I
What
end
do you
up
ship?
having to bring them all back home and relabel everything and then take it back down again.
Yeah, I think that size would be qualified as a letter here. So it would be probably like $1.50 or something.
So it's hard to not let it be over 3/8 of an inch thick when you're putting, 3D printed parts in, like this here, for example.
Oh yeah.
So then it's a 1/2 inch thick. It's only weighs 2 ounces, and like I said, we've done it for years, and now can't do that anymore because it'll end up postage due to the customer, and they probably wouldn't like that.
Jim said my last show I did cost you $350 with $35 in sales. I told you afterwards, shoot me if I'm going to do a show.
So Jim, did you get your rotary running properly now?
Yeah.
Jim has an Omni 1 and he's coming up to speed. So we've had lots of conversations.
Well, Choa said every time I design something for myself, I throw it up on Etsy.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
If you need it, somebody else probably does.
There you go. I like this name, Terrible at Fishing. I hope you're good at catching a buzz. At least you got that going on. Is there a way to engrave holes in thick hardwood like a?
I think he means cribbage.
Cribbage board. Do you have the fill option that would not take forever?
Well, if I was going to make cribbage boards, I'd be using a CNC.
Yeah, CNC is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, laser would actually be the last choice. I would use a hand drill before a drill press before I'd use a laser to try and cut these things out. Yeah, for one thing, I don't think you have to get down, I don't know, probably 1/4 of an inch so the pegs fit in there properly.
A drill bit with some masking tape so you know where to stop?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of holes in a cribbage board. It's not like there are 2 or 3.
Well, there's 120 times 3 or 4 if you have plus a couple for the players, the score, or the games won and the finish. So yeah, there's quite a few. I'll send Rick a cribbage board design, and he can make one for his first project on a CNC. That'll be the Lavinus test.
Okay.
And the smoke test.
All right, we can do it.
Because the drilling pattern, you're basically just shoving the bit straight down, right?
All right, I'll give it a shot. I'll take that challenge.
You'll need a good 1/8 inch bit.
All right.
End mill, flat end mill.
Chris said, I only sell by word of mouth, but it keeps me going. No fees. All profits goes in my pockets.
Yep. That's what I generally do.
Get a lot of word of mouth stuff here.
I like that. All profits goes in my pockets.
But he just carries those to the tax office and reports them, I'm sure.
L69 says, I print, what is this?
PET G.
Okay. PET G and PLA, the drive my filament. AMS is full of desiccant pods. The AMS bounces around on which motor wants to jam by the day. That almost sounds like there's something up with the firmware. If it's jumping around between the AMS motors, that sounds like there's something in the firmware that's corrupt.
Sounds like a software problem, yeah. Probably that new software they put up there that.
Well, they haven't released that yet. That's still in beta, but I would check with Bamboo and see what they have to say.
Yeah. Chris said, profit after Etsy fees is still more profit than no Etsy sale.
Well, that's true.
Right.
Yeah. It's just you have to always keep it in perspective though, right? It's the amount of time you work to make something that you sell on Etsy basically means your hourly wage is going down, right?
Big time. Yeah.
So yeah, it's profit, but it's using time that you could probably use for something else that you could make more money at.
LTX Design said we had Rotoboss in the chat, but Rotary can buy. So
Rotoboss is in the house.
We had said last time we actually had him on our live. What's up, brother? Are you going to hook us up with some rotaries so we can do some reviews for us? Let us know. All 4 of us were interested.
He didn't say yes.
He didn't say no. That was the important part.
You're a hard pressure guy, man.
I'll take a maybe over a no any day. Although I have been told no quite a few times, and I still end up getting my way.
Yeah.
Joe from North Carolina just checking in. Hey, how's it going, Joe? I used
Howdy,
to live in
howdy.
Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Joe's a new viewer, I think.
Yep. I did a ton of posting on laser groups on Facebook. Let him know we're having a live. They haven't joined it. So
Cool.
Very cool. And I was surprised a very large channel allowed me to post on his Facebook group. I tried in the past and he said no. So I said, I get it. But yeah, he let me. So it's cool.
At least he let you until he discovers that you posted some message there.
No, because it said he approved it.
Yeah.
I forget that, and now I'm forgetting the name of his. He's got like 5 guys on his live, and they do laser stuff. I forget his name. He kind of looks like the guy from Saved by the Bell, the curly hair guy. Screech or whatever. Yeah, that's
the only reason I know that is because I had kids that grew up in that era.
Yep.
Okay, here, abrasive filaments will kill the hot end. Another is too hot of a chamber printing on PLA and PET-G. That's true. You don't want your chamber to get too hot. You'll have all kinds of clogs. As far as abrasive filaments, like carbon fiber or the wood type, there's a couple other ones too. You definitely want a hardened steel hot end for that. Don't have that little brass one in there. It'll just kill it.
Oh, Roger, those ends, is there like a big drastic in price difference or not really?
No, not really. Between a brass hot end, you could buy probably 10 brass hot ends for $10.
So there's no reason to buy a cheap one. Just put the expensive one.
You could buy 10 hardened steel ones for probably $20, or about twice the amount, but they're not expensive.
Yeah, but they'll last longer for sure.
So it's not even worth trying to save a couple extra bucks. Just you get what you pay for.
Yeah, and on the PET-G, make sure you have a door open or crack open the top glass, or slide the top glass back if you got X1 carbon or P1S. A lot of times I'll just leave the door open.
Why is that, Roger?
The chamber temperature gets too hot. The cooling gets screwed up on your model, and you can not only end up with some weird looking layers, but you can end up with clogs.
There you go. Learn something new every day. Hi, keep Silver Fox for company within 51 state.
Let's not go there. I do the next time. So I posted those little not for sale maple leaves on
I saw it
on our Facebook group. I made only a couple of them for just people that were coming over and
my wife actually told me to have you mail her one.
Oh, I can do that. So they've become hot items all of a sudden, and I think the other day I made, I don't know, another 20 of them, I think, but they're already accounted for, I think. So it's see, this is what I didn't want to happen. I don't want to be the maple leaf cutting guy.
You're gonna have to join, what do they call it, the maple syrup mafia? That's like a real thing, right?
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah. Yeah. There's no tariffs on maple syrup.
Yeah.
It's, we make like 90% of the world's maple syrup.
Yeah.
So.
It's like marijuana in Mexico. There you go.
Well, we can do that here too because it's legal.
But, it's just a little different. You guys are known exactly for that. It's kind of funny.
Clayton got his bamboo A1 2 days ago.
Nice.
And running nonstop. Well, you shouldn't have gone through a nozzle yet.
Money.
Have you?
There's no stopping that guy, man.
Since he's in Hawaii, and I know it's a bit humid there, did you have you printed out these enclosures for the AMS light? If you had the ones with AMS light, mine have hubs in the front because I had a problem with spools coming off on the downhill side, but I had to put spool locks in there. But these dryers or these dry boxes, I mean, it's keeping it. Everything's reading 10% humidity. That's because the hygrometers won't read any lower. But those, I think that's a pretty good thing to make.
decent amount of people in the live. If you haven't already, do us a favor and smash that thumbs up button. Show us some love, and if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe as well. I appreciate that. Oh,
Oops.
sorry, we did the same time.
So yes, Mauricio.
I've watched all your shows, just not live usually. Well, thank you for joining the live. It's good to see you.
So he played. He called in sick today from work, and he's decided to watch your channel.
There you go.
Jim got an RB Talon. What's an RB Talon? Oh, is that rotary plate that you were talking about? Slowly but surely, still having fits. Yeah, doing tumblers. Yeah, the scale was the challenge, right? Yeah, you still can't get it right. We should get online, see if we can solve it.
Yeah, that was one of the things we were saying. It's like you can't avoid seeing tumblers at any form of social media being for sale, right?
Yeah.
But you can also see a ton of people who tried or bought the rotary and then just were so intimidated didn't even try. So it's like the people who actually dared to try, I guess they make sales, and some people are just too intimidated.
And the best thing to learn your rotary with before you start using expensive tumblers is soda cans, pop cans, beer cans, and it's a lot easier to do it if they're full. No, they're not going to blow up. I already had somebody say that can of beer is going to blow up. Well, it's not. All the laser does is take the powder coating or the paint off. But I've had some fun engraving guys' names, my buddies' names on cans of beer. They say, "Hey, you want a beer? This one's got your name on it. Here." And they're like, "How the hell did you do that?" But it's a good thing to practice on.
Very careful carving with an eyepiece.
Yeah.
Took hours. Yeah. When drilling a cribbage board, definitely use an upcut.
Yeah.
Hold on, looks like my light kicked off.
For those that don't know, an upcut is a bit that shoves all the pieces up out of the hole as opposed to down into the hole.
Well, let's see what Rotoboss has to say here. Oh, LTX 9
he's not talking to you. You
come on, Rotoboss. What's up, man? Oh, he said I need info on your machines. All right, I got your email. We'll reply to you and with all the guys, and we'll get you some info.
Sweet.
All right, guys, you heard it. We're getting Rotoboss attachments.
No, he didn't say that. He just wants to know what kind of machines you're using.
I know. I'm just pushing them.
Chris says always takes fees into account when pricing. Etsy one price, Marketplace another, live show another. A lot set, one fee for all. To me, that is wrong. I do not have a set fee for everything. The prices vary according to where they are listed.
Yep.
Yeah, I try to charge less on my website than I do on Etsy for sure.
Yeah. It was funny, just even we're talking, I went and got my muffler put on my truck. The guy told me the price and I said, how much if I pay cash? $50 off. No problem. When I pick the truck up, I'll stop and get cash.
You know, restaurants around here now, if you're paying with a credit card, it's 4% more.
Yeah.
It's becoming
they're not supposed to do that, but
I know they're not, but they do it.
They do it, yeah. They have signs and let you know. Yeah, I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, the way they do it is they say if you pay cash, you get a 4% discount.
Yes.
There you go. You like that one. Ochoa said, I'm used to selling a lot of live edge walnut charcuterie boards on Etsy, but competition crowded me out. The guys come in and create 10 listings of the same item to dominate the front page.
Yeah, so, that's very common. And from one of the last things I read, one of Etsy CEOs saying they're going to try to limit that. Like eBay finally put their foot down on that and stopped it too.
Yeah, so it was funny that when I saw that, I thought it was weird. And I thought this must be a Chinese company who's doing that. And then I saw like Andy.
Andy does it.
What's that guy? 6'6" something.
6'8" Woodworks.
Yeah, so he does it. There's a lot of people who say like, you know, they have a board listed 25 times. You know what I mean? So they have 10 items listed 250 listings. You know, but I was like, as a consumer, if I went to your like page, I'd be like, what the heck is this? You know, but I guess they don't care. They're just like you said.
I don't do that. I mean, we have let's say you
Yeah.
want to buy a set of 3 of this, but I'm talking plants here right now from our nursery. Let's say you want to buy 3 pots of this. Well, let's say you want to buy an entire flat of them. I'll have 2 different listings. One's for the flat, one's for the smaller sets.
Yeah.
But I don't repeatedly do the same listing. I don't do that.
Yeah. It's becoming a thing now. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
PA.
Not too far from us.
AGT
Clayton.
Restorer says, Clayton, my A1 has been going nonstop since late January.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, here you go. Australia thinks it's the 51st state.
Well, you can have that title.
Says hello from Waterloo, Iowa. Not
There
that
you go.
far from me, about an hour and a half.
Nice. David said, I don't think I heard that there was a payment for the 51st state. Nah, he's just trying to take it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Alive Pixel Creations. I have good results with golf balls on the Omni One. I assume I hope you watched my video for golf balls, because otherwise I would feel completely useless.
Don't make that comment. He's like, nope.
And I already have a wife that tells me that. I don't need viewers to tell me.
Trigger said, I have a question before, but never got my answer. On the longer 20 watt, anything that put to engrave over 700 millimeters, it stops halfway on every job.
Huh.
Oh, that
Could be bad controller, bad USB connection. Could be anything.
Let me ask you a question. Is it like a certain amount of time, like a bigger job that after 2-3 minutes, all of a sudden it just stops, or is it immediately? And the reason I'm asking that is because we say this a lot. On a laptop, make sure you have power management turned off.
Yes, it could be that.
And the other thing is, too, your USB cable. Make sure you have a high quality, good USB data cable, not a charging cable.
Yes, there's a difference.
If it was a charging cable, it wouldn't connect to the laser. But...
Well, if you bought the USB cable from Five Below, don't use it.
If you paid $1.99 for your USB cable, it's probably not good.
Yeah. Mick said, that's me, Rick. I'm scared to run rotors. I have 3 rollers, 2 chucks, and I haven't used any of them yet. So we asked on a live not too long ago. We said, what is an item that you had to have that you bought you've never used? And it was cameras, rotaries, and there was one more thing. I forget. But it was like nonstop. That's what it was. Cameras, because people were saying they just didn't find them accurate, and the rotaries was intimidation. Oh, and the rotary table. So
I was actually going to do a video on how to make one of those.
Yeah, so I said, okay, well, I'm guilty of that myself. I have rotaries behind me, and I have a rotary table still in the box. I said, so I'll get it figured out and make a video, and I'll stumble through it with you guys. So
yeah, rotary tables are nice because you can unload while it's engraving, so you never have to stop, right?
Right. So I had a painter at my house, and then he realized the whole laser thing, and he pulls out a pencil out of his pocket, and he says, "Can you make these?" And I said, "Yeah, but I have to open a box I haven't opened yet for the rotary table." And, he says, "I get these made pretty cheap." He says, "But I give them out." He says, "People, they lose business cards, they throw them away. Whatever reason, they keep these pencils."
Well, because a pencil has use, right? A business card is, once you read the name on it, it's a functionally useless piece of material.
Unless you need something to write on, you can write on the back. I've done that a lot. Pull out somebody's business card they gave me and make a note on it.
I usually go to Amazon and I buy like the big box of pre-sharpened pencils, so I don't even have to sharpen them, and I just lay them down there and engrave on them. And people come in and they write something down. And they go, "Oh, nice pencil." So I'm forever making new ones because they just I don't advertise that, you can take the pencil with you. People just assume that they're going to take it.
Yeah, but funny you're saying that. Like he said, literally, these pencils bring me a lot of business.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, I will open the box.
Oh yeah, conveyor. Well, actually,
Where were we at?
hi, by the way, Tim. Conveyors. I don't know. I think conveyors are another one of these things that is, if you're doing a lot of something, they're actually useful because you don't have to line up a jig or any of that kind of thing. But they take a lot of space. Like if you have the conveyor for the F1 Ultra, the thing is huge, and it's just, you have to have desk space for it. So
yeah, I was gonna grab the conveyor for the Nano. That thing is big.
Yeah, I mean, my
bigger than my
frustration
monitor.
with rotaries is most of them don't hold a damn thing, right? Like they're just awful. And any, it's Rotobosses on the call here, but people always say, no, get a Rotoboss, they'll hold anything. Okay,
We'll find out.
But that's my frustration with most rotaries. They don't hold anything. You end up, 3D printing your own jaws for the things if you have a custom bottle of some sort, or because you're just doomed otherwise. Yeah, and that's probably why a lot of them don't get used, right? Because people put a bottle in it, they turn it halfway, and then the thing falls out, and they go, "Well, that's $15 I won't get back." So they just throw the thing in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I said. I actually did like that Atezzer rotary. It seemed pretty nice.
Yeah, of the cheap rotaries, it wasn't a bad one. I liked it.
It was the only rotor I've ever seen that had the angles built into it. So
yeah, well, actually labeled. There's a few.
Yeah.
Commarker has one that you can tilt. But
all my rotaries tilt, but I'm saying it was labeled. So as it's going, you actually knew the angle that it was at. That was pretty nice.
You think a company that makes lasers would take the time to
laser engrave,
put a scale on the outside, especially one that can do metal. So if he goes at 7,000 millimeters a minute,
without a problem,
it goes all the way without a problem.
Okay, so then it could be a baud rate issue.
Yeah, it could be. I'm wondering what you're engraving that fast.
What I would do too is I'd go to your COM port settings in your operating system and set that port, instead of to a manual baud rate, like it'll say 9600 or whatever, set it to auto.
Or take it up to 115,000.
Right, or max it out. Yep. Either set it to auto or max it completely out. Because you could be maxing out the baud rate that port is set to by default.
Yeah, I don't think it's baud rate. It could be, but the fact that this slight difference in speed makes it fail halfway through. Like if it was baud rate, it just wouldn't talk to it. Right?
Well, it could be timing out. It's not keeping up enough, right?
Or there again, a bad data cable. Can't pass the data quick enough.
First thing I would check is, it's going to take you 5 seconds to change your computer settings. Check that.
I would still lean towards the thing powering, the computer powering down.
Yeah. And turn power management off. Period.
Although 7,000 millimeters a minute is slower, so if that gets all the way through, it's not a power issue.
Yeah. Just rule of thumb, you should just have power management off, period. So just make sure that's turned off. But check the baud rate on that. Max it out.
Hey, Corby's back.
Nice one,
Corby.
All right, Steve.
Enjoyed my I gotta say the Omni One is my favorite laser. It's good for everything. Well, not cutting, but anything you want to engrave, it works fantastic.
What's that commercial? I put that shit on everything.
Frank's Red Hot.
I put that shit on everything.
I know this because I do. I get the extra hot though, because the regular's just not hot enough.
There you go.
Everything I do now is on a diode laser. I want to expand.
You want to read it out loud?
Yeah. So he enjoyed my video on UV lasers, and he's seriously considering pulling the trigger and getting one. Good thing I said it was an awesome laser. Everything I do now is on a diode laser, and I want to expand. Are they really worth it? Well, Jim Hamilton's on the call. He would say probably not because he's had a lot of trouble. But I love the thing. But if you keep in mind, if you want to cut things, it's not a laser for cutting. It's not a laser for deep engraving either. It's a laser for surface engraving.
Yeah. So it really just depends on your
engrave
blank.
everything.
Yeah, it really depends on your blank. What are you trying to make? What are your blanks?
Yeah.
Nick said, I have a camera I installed on my 60-watt Mopa and upgraded shortly after. You know what I've been seeing a lot lately? Is this ring-looking light that goes around the fiber lasers with the built-in camera.
The lens.
Yeah, but it actually like goes completely around this.
Yeah.
Ring light. You can get it for cameras, like SLRs too.
Right,
Yeah,
but it has
it's probably just one of those.
It has a ring light with a little cheap camera built into it. And it's like,
yeah.
I think people are just using them to create content, right? Because you're just leaving it run and they're recording, engraving.
The framing on a MOPA laser, well, any fiber laser is so good. Like, I mean, as long as your laser's calibrated properly, when you frame, that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Definitely. And like you can actually frame the outline, right? You don't have to frame some rectangle.
Yeah, that's about the only laser that you can pretty much, you're always on the money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because you have the luxury of that, you know?
Yeah. Well, any Galvo laser, like the longer Nano Duo can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, again, people are asking, what type of material are they looking to use,
Yeah, now a UV laser, there's not a lot of materials it won't mark. You just have to find the settings. Now, they actually do, so I talked to the com marker guys because Jim on the call here was asking about settings, and com marker does have a settings library that you can download from their Facebook group.
Nice.
For the Omni one.
Corp said, it feels good to be back watching YouTube after 3 weeks. Well, welcome back. Thank you for joining. Looks like there's some people recognizing each other's names in the live.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, Jim has the D80 rotary from Commarker.
Now, like this, metal jaws and glass do not mix. Yeah, I'll tell you what else doesn't mix is very cold draft beer and a beer glass that just came out of the dishwasher, because this happened to us at a restaurant on Sunday. Ordered another beer. She put the beer in the glass, set it on the table, and the glass exploded.
What?
Jeez.
We had glass everywhere.
Wow.
So did you get a free meal?
Yes. I told her it wasn't necessary. They had to replace food, too. I mean, food full of glass.
Wow.
But I have never, in all my years of drinking beer, had a beer glass explode.
You didn't tell him you had those hypersonic eyes like Superman, did you?
Well, she had no more than set it down and let go of it, and it just boom.
You didn't smack it with the knife and
no. And I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, Chris said baud rate needs to match at both ends. That's why I said you can set it to auto. So auto detects.
Yeah, usually they run at 115,000.
Yeah.
A lot of lasers they'll do a handshake and they'll determine the baud rate anyway, but
that's the whole idea.
You want to go as fast as possible anyway because there's a lot of data moving back and forth. So
that's the whole idea behind USP, right? It's supposed to be plug and play.
Yeah.
You're not supposed. It's not a serial port where you manually enter things.
Plug and pray. Yeah.
Oh, paper and cardboard. That's why you're such a high speed.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely need to go fast with paper. Maybe he's like trying to build a Gutenberg press with a laser. It has to go fast.
I saw at the Science Museum the smallest Bible ever printed.
Yeah.
It's like, I was thinking, how the heck? It was a full Bible. It's kind of crazy.
Geez, bad news for Corby here. You had a heart attack 3 weeks ago. Man, I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speedy recovery.
Now here we go.
Uh,
Rotoboss said UV is a jack of all trades, best bang for your buck.
yeah, I think it's a lot of bucks, but if you just want to do mostly engraving, get a UV laser. If you do want to do the occasional cutting, have a diode laser too. They're usually, it's a cheap alternative to a CO2. So,
Yeah. What's getting crazy though with the diode lasers, right? I remember when 35 watts was like, whoa, 20 watts was like, whoa. Now it's like 40, 60, 70, like, holy cow, 60, 70 watt. Like, I want to see a head on a 60 or 70 watt. When I first got my
60 is,
35.
yeah, I had the iCure 60 watt. It's not substantially bigger than like a 48 watt, but the 70 apparently is quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
But that was a phase, right? That was like quadraphonic stereo back in the 70s for those of us who remember the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
It was, you had to have it, right? It was completely pointless, and they did that with lasers too, right? It's like the power game. Or in stereos, they used to report, you'd get these stereos with like 100,000 watts, but it was
not
some
RMS
peak
or
pulse
whatever.
power, whatever, right?
They wouldn't give the RMS rating. It was just peak power, 1,000 watts.
Yeah.
And it's
38 watts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really, it's a 10 watt stereo from your local junk store. And they did that with lasers too. It's like, oh, we got to get more power. And same thing with color, like color on diode lasers. Oh, we can engrave metal in color. Well, yeah, you can engrave metal in some color. It's not going to be something predictable because from this spot on the material to that spot, it's going to be two different colors.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, what Steve was saying, they have a template for you to be able to download to give you some material. Keep in mind that you should always run your own material test, but the fact that a manufacturer would go out of the way to give you somewhere to start, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know, Tim, if you're pointing out that this is a problem. The material library, like anybody who runs an Omni 1 is probably going to run Lightburn anyway. So the material library is perfect for that.
There you go.
No, actually, it's an interesting question. They always ship this EasyCAD 2. Is that what it's called? The other Galvo laser tool. Does anyone actually use that, or laser Gerbil too? Like,
not even.
Laser Gerbil, right? To me is just a pain.
Yeah.
To me, I'd be interested to hear if anyone actually uses that, because I keep telling manufacturers, like, why do you care about this stuff? Right.
Right.
I'll probably get some hate comments on, but to me, laser Gerbil is like using DOS.
Hang on, go back to Jim's comment there. I didn't.
Okay.
So Jim says he's got a ComMarker. He's got the ComMarker material library. Must be a couple months old. Do they? I don't know. I assume they update the thing regularly. I downloaded it and it's got most of the materials in it. Like most of these material libraries that manufacturers provide, it's okay. But I've had to change a few settings in, every one of these material libraries I've ever received.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's a good point to start. And it's cool that they actually did them. It's, the research to let you know. They don't have to.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I was going to say Jim responded before Tim's question, but Lightburn is pretty much the standard for Galvo lasers.
Yeah.
Works okay.
Chris, I remember when 20 watts started and they were saying they need to go from open frame to enclosed. Only took them to 40 watt before they did it.
Yeah, I had lots of conversations with manufacturers in this transition period saying, you got to stop making open frame lasers. Like, these things are dangerous. And I'm encouraged that they finally, I'd like to say they listened to me, but I'm sure they listened to lots of people.
I know you were like big on pushing that. To be honest, I didn't care. I was like, whatever. I had my
when you got a 60 watt laser and you got a reflection flying around, it's like if you take a 60-watt laser module and you hold it 10 feet from a wall, it's going to burn a mark on the wall.
Yeah.
So if your eye is where that wall is, you're in big trouble, right?
I guess, yeah. Not at all, but it's a great starting point to test.
Yeah, that's true. Those libraries are good for
Here you go. Here
somewhere
you
to
go.
get started.
Rogers, it's for you.
Yeah, I don't even use it for that anymore. That's just, to me, it's like using DOS.
Yeah, the only thing I found EasyCAD 2 good for is if you want to build your own core file for a Galvo laser. Like you can do all the calibrations in Lightburn, but Lightburn doesn't let you create the core file, which seems kind of goofy to me, but it would be nice if they did. But you can take all those settings and import them into EasyCAD 2, and you can create the core file there. But it'll take you 3 hours to figure out how to do it because the user experience on both Laser Gerbil and EasyCAD is not fantastic. Yeah, Jim.
So if you're not already a member of our Facebook page, no problem. If you're not already a member of our Facebook page, please do join. Let me check really quick to see what we're up to right now. It's been growing, and
I had it right here. Just
365 members. So
keep
in mind, this is Shop Talk Live's Facebook page. So if you are a seller, if you're an influencer, you're a YouTuber, post all your content. It doesn't matter. There's this is show and tell, share and care, your stump, beat your head against the wall, all the above. Everyone, we don't have any trolls in our group. So if you're having problems, ask the group. The community can help you out for sure. And if there's no hate. Like, oh, you're a YouTuber too. You're posting on our page. Go ahead, go for it. Let's see your work. And I'd say I'm blown away by the work that's posted.
I didn't look there today. I was tied up, but I just saw a bunch of things from Aldrich Custom Crafts. Man, he does some nice stuff. You'd like that flag, Rick, because you want to do flags, right?
I know. I was talking with him, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was talking with him, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm excited. Like I said, I'm super impressed by the things that people are doing. And as we're growing as a community, people will be able to help each other. And we're even sharing files. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. I'm astounded constantly by the types of things people do. Like, what was the thing I looked at here? Chris Simmons, he's building model like model railroading models, like buildings. And it's like, I mean, lasers are perfect for that, right? Like it's I've had a couple of people ask me about stuff, how precise things are with lasers, because they're trying to do like scale of everything, right? So you get these really small, intricate items that are made of wood in the real world, and people want to. Well, my wife calls me a troll sometimes. But yeah, their lasers are perfectly tuned for this sort of thing.
No, I said the troll comment because a lot of times people are so intimidated to ask questions because people are just dicks, right? I mean, like if you come to the point you're at which you're like, I just need help, right? And unless it's not like a total stupid question, you don't have to be a jerk, right? But I would say in our community, I've yet to see anyone who was being a troll or a jerk to anyone. So that's cool.
Well,
and I've back when I was in the trade and I had apprentices, I'd always tell them, no question's stupid if you don't know the answer.
Right. Just ask.
Ask me before you screw something up so I don't have to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Before you take down the power grid.
Yeah.
Thanks for the mention. Love the making mile railroad structures. There, look at that. We didn't even know he was in live. You mentioned his work, and here he is on the live.
Cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, hopefully he's finding things that are that he's using it for useful things. Like he has a picture of his building he's making there, and
share it, Steve.
Now he looks like he's got a much more impressive model railroad than most people, because his looks like it's outside in a yard. Let me see if I can share this. So yeah, this is. Now I assume he's working on the roof, but yeah, I mean it's. So what, this is like O scale or something? Because this is clearly out in your yard. If I had a railroad out in my yard, I'd have to at this time of year, I'd have to have a shovel in the front of the train. Well, a chisel now, because we had 3 inches of freezing rain the other day. So yeah, that's the kind of thing we have up there. Lots of interesting projects.
Yeah, people pay big bucks for house replicas too, like models of their actual home. That's like big bucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like they want scale models of their house, right?
Yeah, that's bucks.
Yeah.
Tim
so Tim lives not too far from me, so he apparently doesn't have palm trees in his yard, so, or the nice pool.
Yeah, it's a garden railroad, G scale.
Oh, G scale, yeah. So it's big. Wow,
that's cool. So, anyone have any questions in the live? Let us know. Let us know. I said before our live something I wanted to announce. I was approved to be a Lowe's affiliate, right? Sponsor. So, any item under $400, if you guys want me to check it out, let me know. I got a $400 a month allowance. So, if it's a little bit over and it's worth my while, maybe I'll put in the extra coin. But if there's something you guys want me to check out, let me know, and I'll throw it up and do a review. So very cool, and it looks like I'll be able to have some discount codes too for our subscribers. So be cool. Craig said, "Long-time follower, guys. First time posting live. Greetings from Hoffman Estates, Illinois." Yeah, it is Hoffman Estates, Illinois.
Yeah, that's
Very
up by
cool.
you, Rick.
Yeah,
he makes it sound like he's listening to a radio show. Long-time listener, first time
and
poster.
see that's exactly my point, though. Is like I keep saying, when people say, "Why do you guys read the comments?" Because there's a ton of people who listen and aren't necessarily watching. So yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm in Oswego, Illinois, so not too far from you at all. I actually did a lot of work in your area. We keep the lights on.
Yeah, so if the lights go out, you can blame Rick. So I have I mentioned this before we get on here. I have the Pro Colored F13 coming. I thought it was going to be the new one, but unfortunately it's not. So they're coming out with a new one, which is,
you know how many inch it is?
It's 13 inch.
Oh, that's not bad. That's actually perfect.
Yeah, but they're coming out with a new one. I think it's the A13. I'm not sure. They only kind of give me some sketchy details on it, but hopefully
13 inches perfect size as far as minimum size, because you can print up to a 5X shirt and print big enough that it won't look small, right? You see people, and they take in these little tiny printers and they're printing an 8x5 color print, and it's like, what is that? Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? So a 13-inch printer, like you can print all the way across your back. You know what I mean? You could pull full. Yeah. That's up to a 5X shirt, anything, so.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about it. I have to, so I'll do the review of the printer, but I want to do something a little more off the beaten path, like what's beyond t-shirts, basically, right? So I'll do a couple of videos with it.
So a lot of things people do too besides shirts. They do hats.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I talked to Vivor about a heat press, because I wanted one that can do hats. Yeah,
so I have a Hytronics, but it's like Hytronics, I wouldn't touch one until like you're committed into that's what you want to do. But it's like you can buy 5 heat presses for the price. When the thing turns on, it connects to Wi-Fi, updates firmware, has a countdown. It's like
I have a feeling the bigger problem for me would be the amount of room that would take.
It's really small, you know, and it's a 360 hat press, so you can flip it. You can put the hat anywhere you want. Because some of the heat presses you can only do the fronts,
Yeah.
or they make this weird dent in the hat, and then it's hard to get out. So I mean, I'm just saying you get what you pay for, but it's kind of over the top as far as when it comes to the price.
David, hi from Essen. Another one of our German listeners.
Nice one.
It's got to be pretty late there. Or early, I guess.
Let me I want to find the post for the where everyone's from. It would be cool if we can get everyone to tag.
You know, it's too bad. I looked for some kind of a mapping tool where somebody could just put their pin.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then people could just go up there and see, right? I was actually going to look for it for our Facebook group.
Yeah, that would
where people are from, but I couldn't find one that was, not intimidating or wasn't going to cost a pile of money.
Because nothing is free. There you go.
Wow, Craig's been catching our replays for a year and a half. Have we been doing this for a year and a half?
Yeah, just about.
Wow.
Just about.
Pretty soon
I pinned it to the feature.
We'll be able to live stream my hip replacement.
Let's see here.
See, Craig would be an earbud listener.
Yeah, and that's the point, because like I said early on, people were like, "Why are you reading the comments? We can see them." It just goes to show time and time again, people are just listening.
If we're missing a demographic in gyms, maybe we need some workout music in the background.
Roger was a DJ. Come on, Roger.
Yeah, there we go. We already got talent.
So I pinned it in our group, so it's at the top under the features.
So David isn't from Germany. He's from Bessemer, Alabama.
Okay.
My wife is from Alabama, not Bessemer. She's from Winston County.
Every time I hear that, I think of Forrest Gump. Alabama.
Tim's now in my world. This world, or the world we have out here, where there's 3 inches of freezing rain.
So, have you guys ever used a domino tool?
The shaper?
Actually, the joiner.
Oh no, a domino. Yeah.
No, joiner. I have. I'm not part of the Festool fan club. So not dominoes. I've done biscuits.
Yeah, so I've wanted one, but they're just too expensive, right?
That's why I don't play into the Festool or woodpecker thing, either one.
Right. So I used my Lowe's money, and DeWalt has their version of it. So I'm like, sold.
Is it $3,000 too?
No, it's like $260.
Yeah.
I for a long time I looked at Festool stuff and went, oh, this is just so crazy expensive. It can't possibly be worth it. But I've actually used some Festool things, and I think when things like my palm sander die, I'm going to buy a Festool one.
Nice. A buddy of mine does a lot of painting houses and sanding, and he swears by the Festool sanders. He says, I have it hooked to the vacuum, and I make no dust in the house. I'm like, dude, man, but that is it's expensive.
Craig says earbuds make workouts go fast and painless.
There you go.
It would take me a heck of a pair of earbuds to make exercise painless.
I would say I wear them when I go to the gym too. I get on that cross trainer for 45 minutes and it's not painless.
Yeah, every time I feel like working out, I just lay down to that feeling goes away.
Yeah, that's what I say too. Multicraft Neo. I suddenly have a run on round slate coasters. The ones I buy from Amazon are hit or miss for quality. Can you recommend a reliable supplier? China.
I bought it. Multicraft. I can send you the link. I bought it from Alibaba. Just because I could say that I bought that from them, and it's only my first order. But so far, They've been decent.
Alibaba or AliExpress?
Alibaba,
I
Wow,
buy
how many
mine
did you
from
buy?
Alibaba.
550.
Yeah, 550 in a carton.
Yep.
Wow. I don't have room to store 550 coasters
Yep. Yeah, about
or desire
500.
to make 550 coasters.
So, but I think they were
Oh.
like 4 cents or something then.
Yeah.
Versus if you bought them on Amazon, like 27 cents, right?
Of course, now you're not
Or
going to
more.
get them. You're not if you order from Alibaba, you're not going to get them next day.
No,
They're
it took
gonna be a couple of weeks.
yeah, it took like 2.5 to 3 weeks. Which was weird, is I got 300 right away, and 2 other boxes showed up like weeks later, and they were sent at the same time. So I don't know if they got lost or what happened,
Huh.
but they were sent out at the same
Oops.
exact time. So I don't know how the heck that happened.
Oh, the world Tim is in my world is DTF. Well, I'm not in DTF yet. So I've never made a DTF anything. So this
That's
will be a
his
good
other
experiment.
channel.
What's that?
That's your other channel.
DTF?
Yeah.
You're evil, man. Oh, boy.
That's the
That's
Silver Fox channel. You got
That's
the
it.
wrong
I'm
channel.
gonna edit the stream, and in the replay, that comment will be removed. Stricken from the record.
Oh,
Well-
cool. If you can step back about the coasters, say they're having trouble finding perfect center. Are you using absolute coordinates, and do you have a jig, and a whole bunch of different ways to do it? I do it with a layout grid. I don't even have a jig. I just lay them out on a layout grid that I have burned into my spoil board, and it's already marked and set up. I just set the coasters in the markings and go.
Yeah. Man, I've been using this nano. That is like the coaster king for me, man. That thing is just rocking and rolling. Like, I love that little thing.
So David says he's got an Omni one and he can't get pictures to load from the cut library. The only reason they wouldn't load, I assume you're using Lightburn. The only reason they wouldn't load is if they're in a format that is not supported by Lightburn. Can't think of any other reason. Shingle Springs, California. For
I have
Bill.
no idea where that is.
Never heard of that.
It's on the West Coast.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wow. Thanks, sir. Is it near the
That's all
Gulf
I
of
know.
Mexico?
That's all I know.
It's near the Gulf of Mexico? Or is that near the Gulf of America?
Yeah, what's I won't even get started. Trent says he follows all of us. He says we're responsible. Wow. Oh, we're responsible for many hours of laser shenanigans. Oh, okay, that's better. Because I'm not responsible. He's a laser junkie, and we feed his addiction. Wow. That's good. Nice one. Make sure you use affiliate codes when you need a new hit. He currently owns 10 lasers.
Man.
Hey, where are you in Kentucky? You must live near Andy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where Andy lives in Kentucky. He said he's like an hour from Lexington or something, right?
I can't remember, to be honest. Yeah, very cool.
The big domino. Mauricio has the big domino.
So we talked about this before, like saw blades. What do you use? And I think it was kind of anonymous. What we all use Diablo blades. So yeah. I've had in my chop saw the wall blade that came with it, right? And I finally spent the $78, and it cut so well. I was like, why did I keep this thing in there?
You keep plugging away.
From the day I bought it, should just thrown it away.
You just don't know there's a better path. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I use Diablo blades and everything. My circular saw, my why can't I think of the name? Table saw, sawzall, everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a table saw this year because otherwise I'm gonna have to pay tax, and I'd rather depreciate a piece of equipment. So I'm probably gonna get a saw stop this year, I think.
Uh-oh. Big dog.
You know, I gotta, as Andy says, they're expensive, but it's a real good deal after you cut your finger off, right? So
They're like what, 6 to 10 grand depending on the size.
no, well, higher end one, yeah, maybe, but
I bought the mine I just bought back in December. I bought the PCS 3-horse, 36-inch table with X-Acto fence or whatever they call it, and the router table, and the cast iron insert, and the router lift, and my total with tax was $6,800.
Yeah,
that's US.
So it's a tool you use a lot. I got to get a bandsaw too because I waste so much material because I don't have a bandsaw.
You know, I thought I wanted one for so long, but I don't know if I would use it all the time.
Well, you're not going to use it all the time, but when you need a saw,
yeah. Well, it's the same thing like the drill press. I wanted a drill press for so long, I just kept putting it off because it's expensive. And then when I got a bunch of those challenge coins, somebody actually wanted to make them keychains instead. I was gonna drill 100 holes through challenge coin. Like, there's no, that's not gonna happen.
I think you can buy them with the hole pre-drilled. See, Craig appreciates my lack. I'll say lack of coaster love.
Since I'm with Steve on the coasters, I'll still find the high-end steakhouse customers.
Now you find a high-end bar, one of the martini bars or what I call yuppie bars. Boy, they'll buy them up, and they actually, and one of them I did for one, right on the coaster it says "stolen from," and then the name of the bar.
That's cool. I like that idea.
Yeah, it's good promotion.
Rotoboss says, "Gotta run, guys. Keep real. Have your people contact my people. I'm on it."
Yeah, backing up there with Multicraft, a jig for the diameters are a bit off. Yeah, slate coasters are not all exactly the same. That's why I have these circles engraved and squares on my swell board where I could center the coaster in that, space, because they're not all exactly the same.
Right, and they kind of have like a live edge, so to speak. So when you're engraving too, based on your design, you would determine how you're going to spin that, right? So that it wouldn't kind of affect your design, especially because if you're maximizing your engraved space, right up on that edge maybe. But for the most part, anyone who's had one of my slate coasters, they love that live edge versus like a perfect cut. That's what they like about them.
Yeah, as long as you don't have like a border around it that comes too close to the edge.
Right.
You can be out a millimeter or two in any direction and it'll still look fine.
Yeah.
But if you want to engrave close to the edge, then you're gonna have to hand place everything because they do vary in size quite a bit.
Yeah, but the good thing about the live edge is it gives you, like you said, that it gives you that illusion that you could be slightly off, and it's just because the way the coaster's made, you won't look off.
Oh, I can answer this one here. Has a longer Ray 520, but at the 850 by 850 millimeter. I did that too. Is there a camera will work for this size of light burn? In my opinion, don't waste your time. Others may differ, but I do not screw with cameras on lasers.
No.
All right. So do you want to explain, Roger?
They will not hold accuracy. They just won't. And to me, I've never had a use for one. If I want to watch my laser, I'll stand there and watch it. I don't leave them anyway. I'll be in the same room. I'm not like in another building while my laser's running.
Yeah.
And as far as doing layouts, I have grids on every one of my lasers, layout grids, and that's what I use. Or I use a jig.
Yeah, I use a jig and the lasers, but I literally take a piece of MDF, stick it under there. The first day I get it, boom, I'm cutting the grid, and I'm numbering it.
Yeah. The one exception I would make to cameras on lasers is the X-Tool P2. This project I've been working on, I'm trying to put little pieces into unused material on the board, and it's really good for that.
Nice.
Well, we create
we create
camera on there. Theirs is good for that too. But otherwise, I have no use for a camera and a laser.
Yeah, but those ones that tend to, especially with open frame lasers, they hang off a boom up, and they're kind of shaky, and
Right.
yeah, they're not good.
Yeah.
Most people will try it and then put it in the box and throw it in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, I guess your very first laser engraving should be your bed.
And then the neat thing with the longer Ray 5, once you put that double extension on, you get that 850 square working area. Is a place to store it, because that becomes a giant pain. Mine is actually vertical when I'm not using it.
Yeah, hang it on the
In the
wall.
wall. Yeah.
That's where my big X-Tool D1 Pro is.
Yeah.
Out in Vernon, Kentucky.
I'm turning into a 3D printer junkie, Clayton said.
Yeah, you'll have that. What you need to do next now, get into the Gridfinity program, where you got these little things that fit into these grids. I don't have a grid right down here, but this one here holds AA batteries. And
Nice.
I've got another one there for the AAAs, and then different ones you can put together, and then they all stack. And yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with Gridfinity. You'll just go down the rabbit hole. There's so many different things you can do.
LTX said, how long until your big CNC comes? I can't remember. Did you go to Shapoco or Onefinity? I went with the Onefinity. I thought it was a little more sturdier, I should say. It seemed a little more of a sturdier CNC, and that's why I went with it. I was leaning toward the Shapoco because it seemed like an all-in-one. What I mean is they kind of package the software, everything kind of for you together to kind of almost like a noob way to hit the ground running. But I thought the Onefinity was kind of like more industrial.
Yeah.
So
when you see those like 2-inch rails or tubes and 2-inch linear bearings, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So the one thing that we were talking before we went live, I was gonna go with the PWN CNC, the 1.5K 80 millimeter, I think it is, or the bigger one, water cooled rotary. But I emailed them like 10 times the questions and they replied twice. So I was concerned that, look, if I emailed you 10 times, you know I'm an influencer, right? Because I'm emailing you from my email. And you only replied twice. If I actually have a problem, I might be in trouble. So I'm actually going to go with the rotary directly from Infinity One so that I can use theirs. So if I have any problems, I have their rotary, their everything, you know. And I even ordered the big rotary tool. So Steve can make fun of me how sucky my chess piece is.
Well, are you gonna put a 4th axis on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I ordered it.
I'll send you a pawn.
There you go.
You can make a pawn.
So it's very cool.
I got to do some videos on making chess sets too.
So I like the skull video they made. Do you see that?
No, not specifically, but anything that like you take any 3D model, like go to Thingiverse. If you find a cool model, you can, as long as it fits within the Z height of your CNC,
right?
You can engrave or you can machine the thing out.
Yeah, so they said 12 weeks. It's a long time.
Yeah, well,
it's a long time.
3 months.
It's a long time. I'm hoping it's not that long. That's a long time.
Well, they told me when I bought my Elite, they told me I think it was 12 weeks, and it was like 8 or something. Like it was 2 months.
I just thought it was funny when you said get ready for the whole truck to be emptied at your house.
Oh yeah, it'll come in a million boxes, and they all weigh 100 pounds. Like they're all it's heavy. So LTX, he's using my Silver Fox moniker. He says now is the time to get a saw stop because they have all kinds of extras. I should really look into it.
Cool.
I haven't been sawing too much lately, so it's only when I use my current DeWalt saw that I go, oh, I need to get a better saw.
Big Mix said, Roger, I have grids for this too. The grids help big time.
I give away. That's the thing. A lot of people say, why do you just give that away? If you go to my website, that's a free download, and I got a bunch of different sizes of them, and they're free. Why do you give them away? Why not? I'm not out to make a buck on them. I'm out there to help people out.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's not huge intellectual value there either, right? It's just a
No,
helper.
yeah. Just east of Sacramento. Okay.
Oh,
I have been to Sacramento.
Nice. Huh?
I've been west of Sacramento.
So they said the Iker K1 Pro is a very good camera, but it's not as good as the P2. Steve said, but I have the Iker K1 Pro and I have the camera still in the box. I haven't set the camera. I never set the camera up, to be honest with you. So I can't say anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, material is not that expensive that you have to use every square millimeter of empty space.
So
it's so easy on the P2 to do it. So I just kind of squeeze everything in. But
so because of these comments, I wanted to put the extension on my Iker K1 Pro anyways. I think I'll put the extended rails and throw the camera on it just for the hell of it, just to see.
Yeah, you'll have to buy another Craig table. Or maybe you just need to do a flip where you got your CNC on one side and your
that'd be kind of funny
on
actually.
the other side.
That'd be kind of funny.
Oops. Sorry.
Go ahead, Steve.
Bill says, I use X2 Creative Space for my P2S. I think that's really the only way to use it, honestly. Would there be an advantage to upgrading to Lightburn? Well, having said what I just said, no. The integration into Lightburn is just not nearly as good. You lose a lot of features. And this is the struggle that Lightburn is going to have, right, as people push new features.
Right. So I think that I like the fact that they would make something backward compliant, because you're going to have those old dogs that are like, I don't want to learn new software, right? But then you can't also be mad at a manufacturer to say that, hey, we're going to have this proprietary software that's going to support something that Lightburn at this point doesn't. Lightburn is limiting our lasers capabilities, so we're going to have our own software. So
and that was, I had a conversation with Xtool when they came out with the S1, and they were complaining because Lightburn wasn't supporting things like their continuous focus over contours and stuff, and so that was actually the reason they really pushed hard on XCS.
XCS is a lot better now than it was when it first came out.
Right.
I like XCS now.
Yeah. The point is, though, they could make it where it only uses their proprietary software. So they're jumping through additional hurdles by making it backward compliant to Lightburn. So the fact that they're even doing that,
I don't know if they. Well, I guess it's still technically supported in Lightburn, but
right.
But I would never use the P2S in Lightburn. Like I like Lightburn, I like the P2S, but I wouldn't use them together.
There you go. Big Mac said, I also got the Creality K2 Plus working good for me. Nice.
Oh, don't say it, Roger.
No, okay. I won't say anything about the horrible tech support.
I don't mind Creality's 3D printers. The K1 is a decent printer.
Big Max, where are you from, bro?
Oh, skipped one here.
Craig, anyone else in the upper Midwest doing craft fairs? Last year did my first 3, so I added my second laser X2 F1 this year. Roger and I are both in the Chicagoland area.
Is that the upper Midwest?
Well, I'm actually on the opposite of the state, but they still call it the Chicagoland area.
Yep. Yep.
Where did we go here?
Huh.
Big Mix has a long mill Mark 2.5 with a spindle from CNC Lab.
So what spindle do you have, Roger? I mean, Steve?
I told you, I just bought the Huan Yang one off of Amazon.
Oh, no, I'm saying spindle. I meant the 4th axis.
Same deal. I just bought a rotary chuck, like basically a stepper motor with a chuck.
Okay.
And it actually has the other end too, so it's like a lathe, right?
Okay.
So you can hold it up at the other end, and I just put it in rails and put it in the box that lowers into my table.
Okay.
Because you want it to always be reproducible, so you don't have to set up every time because you got to find the center and all that stuff, right? So you're better to Yeah, you're better to either build it into your table and just cover it, or go to the extreme like I did and have it powered. It looks so cool when it comes up out of the table.
That's what you did?
Yeah. Why not? I had time and I thought this is a good challenge. I should have actually done a video on it, but
I want to see that. You got to show that one these days.
I did a short on it. There's a short on my channel from probably close to a year ago now.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Where it's just coming out of the table.
LTX Design said 12 weeks is a long time. I got my Avid in 4 weeks. Whoa. Yeah, big difference. It's huge.
Big difference in price too.
Yeah. Multicraft said my daughter has handed me $100 for a charcuterie board I made. She sold at work for me. Nice one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cha-ching. LTX Design said, Roger, do you mind sharing your website?
Okay, I posted it here, but then I get a message back on my end that says it failed to post.
It didn't fail to post. It's right here.
Is it? Okay, I got these two things that failed to post. Boom.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is. That's where we have like the laser grids and laser projects and that type of thing. That's one of our websites.
Big Mac said he's from Ohio. So I gotta ask, did you like double the Mexican population when you moved there? Because I didn't think there was very many Mexicans in Ohio. My uncle used to live in Ohio, and I don't think there was any Mexicans besides him when he lived there.
Hopefully he doesn't eat the cats. The only thing I learned about Ohio in the last couple of years.
That's hilarious.
Oh, crazy world.
He said there's a lot. Are they related or are they non-related?
Yeah, it's the big Mex family tree.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't count when they all have the same last name. Too funny. Hey, so spring's just around the corner, man. You guys got any upcoming projects you guys are thinking about doing?
Are you gonna pull some new spring occasion on me that I should be building something for?
Yes.
Easter, I guess.
Easter. That's good. That's good. I was thinking about trying to do with the little CNC a 3-dimensional picture of Christ, like the thorns and.
Oh, I have a 3-dimensional thing of Buddha that somebody asked me to make for them.
I don't want a picture of myself.
No, it's the Indian Buddha, the Malaysian Buddha. One of them is svelte and one is fairly robust. We'll say.
Okay.
It's the
Fluffy.
svelte one.
See, that's why the camera's like this. You know, you don't see the fluffiness.
Well, I share your pain, man. So Big Mex wants to build his rotary into his his table too.
So the biggest thing I saw with doing that is that you have the advantage, the height difference between the top and you have more space between, because it can only raise so high, right? So you can use a bigger piece of wood.
Yeah, so you could do that if it's just set in the table too. Like I had it originally just embedded in the table. So the top of the chuck basically comes right at the height of my spoil board. But there's times when you want it out of the table. So like if you're doing something really big, like a bowl, for example, you can't have it down in a little hole in your table, right? So, so you can always lift your Z-axis up a bit if you have to. Yeah. But you can't do much. You have a width mission, and now for the most part, all I turn is chess pieces anyway. But somebody asked me to do a baseball bat or something a while back. But
did you try it?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. How'd it turn out?
Yeah. Well, it's a baseball bat. I didn't make the bat. I put some engraving on it.
Oh, okay. I thought you made the bat.
So if you're going to make a baseball bat, you need a lathe.
Yeah. Well, no, you could actually do it with a CNC, but a lathe would be way faster.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like using a CNC rotary to make a baseball bat is the proverbial wrench for a hammer kind of problem, right?
Yeah.
I didn't buy the Pro yet because I was talking with them to see if they would offer me the affiliate program and discounts. But I recently received an email yesterday. It said no.
Yeah. Go away.
So I'll use Steve's or Andy's affiliate link.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I haven't created an affiliate link. Andy's an affiliate with them anyway. Use his.
Yeah. So I use one of theirs.
Yeah, VCarve is just such a nice tool. As Andy says, no matter what CNC you have, you eventually end up with VCarve.
What's the software that comes with free for 1 year? I forget what it's called.
Carveco.
So that was the one you were saying you gave
Carveco is
away.
really powerful, but man, you got to think in a whole different way.
It is a learning curve. My
Yeah.
problem was because I had to put things in the cloud. I got to screw with the cloud, and so I dropped Carveco.
It's pretty expensive too, right?
Yeah,
Carveco?
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, they're comparable price wise.
Right. I don't know if I don't use them, I'll just say, anybody want this license?
Well, that's what I did. I gave it to somebody, and then I showed him VCarve, and now he uses VCarve.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he asked me why I tortured him for a year with my Carveco subscription that came with my Onefinity Elite.
LTX mentioned-
I didn't answer.
Carveco,
Oh, go ahead.
Carveco is subscription based, so you're paying
Yeah.
by the month.
Yeah. Yeah. So LTX got his hands on Millmage. Yeah,
That's
I
the
don't know.
Lightburn version, right?
Yeah, it's like Lightburn for CNCs.
Right.
And it's it's a lot it's certainly not a competitor for VCarve. I think it's more a competitor for Easel or something. Like, it's simple to use, but it's also simple from a capability perspective. I got an email from VCarve the other day, and I was shocked because there was something new that they introduced. Here it is. Oh, if you want to have like if you have rings that look like they're all intertwined,
Like the
there's a tool path for that now. You can make it. You just click a checkbox that says weave under and over at crossings. Like, this is fascinating to me. I got to try this. So their sample is just a bunch of rings in a circle, but they're all it's like a big Venn diagram. And when they click this box, it creates these over and under things. It looks like it's weaved.
Nice.
Sweet. I didn't even know it was there.
That's cool.
Carveco. Yeah, it's old school, I think. Like they bought the original code from somebody. I forget who had it. But it's old. It's been around forever, and I don't think they ever really changed it. Yes, it is subscription based.
They're just saying don't break something that ain't. Well, let's say don't fix something that ain't broken. They're just running with it.
Yeah, well, I think they're just milking it, right?
Yeah. You know who I haven't seen is Clack. Clack, you in the building, man? What's up? I haven't seen no comments from you, brother.
Maybe he's gone fishing.
Now, here, this has the X-Carve Pro that uses Easel. Anyway, it uses a different G-code sender. Yeah, don't just export your G-code and use UGS. That's universal G-code sender. It's so much easier.
There's another, G-Sender from CNC Labs. I actually like it better than UGS.
So I haven't tried that one.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And it's free.
There you go. And if you don't know, now you know. Yes, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but if you're not a member of our Facebook group, you got to join.
Or our channels. Subscribe to our channels,
too.
Yeah,
or our channels. Yeah. So, and it also gives you a chance that if you actually post a comment, we all can respond to as well. Not just us, but as the entire community. So, yeah, check it out. Check it out. We got 2 requests while we were doing the live, so I already approved. So, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Post some things in there.
Yep.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions out there, fire away. We're here to either answer it or make something up.
Make up an answer.
So nice one. So spring around the corner. You guys have any suggestions for people coming out with new ideas or something to make?
Gardening pickets are good at this time of year. Engraving stones for your garden.
Roger,
And
you had mentioned
around this area, we have porch signs, and they're made out of cedar fence pickets. And if you sell them local, you don't have to ship them.
You had mentioned bat boxes, Roger, at one point, saying those are
bat
quite good.
houses.
Yeah.
Bat houses are now that all the diseases are kind of out of the way. We're going to put our bat houses back up on for sale again.
Nice.
When COVID was going on, I had pulled my listings off of Etsy. People were saying we're promoting COVID by selling bat houses because COVID supposedly came from bats or whatever. I'm not going to get into any of the politics or speculation or conspiracy theories, but we were getting so much hate mail or messages on it that we pulled the listings down.
Wow.
Clack's not talking to us because he's talking to Vintari tonight.
Nice. All right. And Andy's not with us because he's at an event today.
Yeah, he's in well, actually that's where Clack is too.
Yeah.
In Atlanta at the Woodworker show.
Yeah.
I debated going to that, but it's just it's expensive, but it's the show to go to if you do any kind of woodworking stuff. But I've just been swamped with work.
Non-woodwork related. You know what show I want to go to before I die? I want to go to the car SEMA show.
SEMA?
Yeah. I just always thought it looked so badass.
So go.
Yeah.
It's in Vegas, isn't it?
Yeah. You ever been to SEMA, Roger?
No.
Looks cool.
I have been to Vegas. Didn't really care for it, but LTX Designs here. Back up a question or two. Ask if any 350 plus millimeter 3D printer. I have the Anycubic Cobra Max on order. It's supposed to be here sometime towards the end of March. And I got the combo, so it has a multi-spool. I don't care so much about the multicolor as I do about the multi-spool. So one spool follows the other when one runs out. But that has the big work area, and I'm using it to replace my longer LK5 Pro.
Did you ever get a resolution when you had to buy that part yourself, or what was the deal with that? You were asking.
Okay, that was with my little fiasco with Bamboo Labs. They finally replaced the printer, and the part that
the whole thing.
Oh yeah, then the part that I did have to buy, they refunded because there was something wrong in the manufacturing. It just, I think the holidays took part of it, and I was getting a little irritated because it was right through Christmas and New Year's, and so it was taking forever to get responses back. But they sent me another one. They had to send the other one back. The only thing was I had to put like the one they sent me was like a hold on a credit card charge.
Yep.
Until they got the other one back, and I understand that so they won't not get ripped off.
Epson did that to me.
I got the credit back and everything, so yeah, we're all good there.
Epson did that to me, and I was really surprised. Epson sent me a printer, like I was on the phone, and they were like, "Yeah, you're in warranty, no problem." Boom, sent me a brand new one. They put the credit card hold. Yeah. I sent back the old one. I was like, "Wow, it's nice when the manufacturer stands in the product like that."
Yeah, like I say, my only frustration was it took so long and going back and forth, but the holidays, I think, got into part of that.
Who drove 10 hours to get some Clack Shack stickers? I don't know if I drive 10 hours to get some Clack Shack stickers. You can mail them to me.
Well, it would be more than 10 hours for me to get there, but I would drive 10 hours to go hang out with Clack.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hang on, I never got to answer this question. So Tim asked if there's any shows up my way. I don't know. I don't do any kind of craft show type stuff. I mean, Halifax has all kinds of craft things in the spring, but
so Steve, I know you sell globally, obviously, but do you find like locally online, not locally business type, are is most of your sales outside of Canada?
Probably 80% anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
But
because it's Canada,
of that 80%, I'd say, I don't know, 40% is maybe the US and a lot of Europe, a lot of Germany, UK, Australia. Lots of people in Australia.
So
Takes a long time to get stuff to Australia, though.
Yeah. I'm not like meaning this in a harsh way or bad way. I don't even know how to say it, but being from Canada, is wood a lot cheaper there than here?
Some wood is certainly softwood is cheaper, probably.
Yeah. So I know a lot of our wood comes from Canada, so
yeah,
that's why I was asking.
Well, I don't think we get much of a break on it compared to you guys, but
okay.
Yeah, I mean anything exotic obviously is going to cost money, but I don't know. It's all expensive, but
yeah. I just
if you go to a hardware store and buy hardwood, you're going to pay a lot of money. But I go to like one of the big
lumberyard?
east. Well, it's not. It's actually indoor. It's a big warehouse, and all of their types of wood are listed alphabetically.
Oh wow!
And you just wander around with a cart, and when you get to what you want, you can throw it on your cart, and they go measure it after. But they're probably the biggest on the East Coast, so they deal a lot of wood, but they're not super cheap.
So I know big box stores get like a horrible reputation, right, for the lumber, right? They always show Home Depot, and it's like this board that looks like this, and it's like this is made for installing arches and
makers of fine propellers.
Yeah.
And I live in Oswego, and I was going to like a neighboring town Home Depot because the guy who was in charge of the lumber section was like a retired military. So the wood was flipped, rotated, like he ran a tight ship, so to speak. It was like pristine. So there was just no comparison. So then the other day I went to the Home Depot in my town, and I saw the guys actually flipping the boards and moving boards. And I says, wow, you guys fixed the roof, because it used to literally leak on the wood and half the wood would be all molded. And I'm like, I'm not buying molded wood, and then it would be so bent. And the manager overheard me. And she says, yes, we're staying on top of it. Actually, the guys were staying on top of it so well. We told them, hey, don't be so picky. You're throwing too much lumber away. And I said, I actually left you a bad review and said your wood was so twisted and bad that I went to a neighbor in town. She said, I know, that's why we fixed the problem. So I guess corporate maybe started yelling, so funny.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
okay.
Like softwood lumber here is good, and it's relatively cheap because it comes from like an hour from here, right? So, like the Eastern Boreal Forest has a lot of pine in it and spruce.
So David wants to know the best way to learn Tinkercad. Well, actually on Tinkercad, they have a little tutorial you can go through, and there's a lot of people have YouTube videos on learning Tinkercad. It's actually very easy to learn.
Steve always says, Roger always says, it's made for kids, right?
Yeah, it's made for kids to learn 3D modeling, so it's not hard to learn. Yeah. And it's actually more powerful than you think it is. You can do quite a few things with it.
So LTX is asking the price of walnut. So the last walnut I bought, which granted was probably 6 months ago, I think I paid, it was like $14 Canadian a board foot. So that probably puts it in like $12 a US. I actually bought a bunch of bulk stuff from a guy who had a woodworking shop here. Like he was a professional woodworker. He was the guy who built the staircase for the movie Titanic.
Oh wow!
Guy has he had a big operation, but he had a flood, and then he just said he's going to retire because he's a pretty old guy. And I bought a bunch of his walnut and maple for like fractions of that. Like it was like $6 a board foot.
Nice.
So some things are a little cheaper, but
Tim said, if you're not in Canada, one of the best wood suppliers I found for laser is KJP Select Woods.
yeah,
That's-
yeah, I know
of
them.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of different types. But Tim, if you're local, go to East Coast Hardwood. They've got any kind of hardwood you'd want, including crazy things like ebony and olive wood and you name it. They've got them all.
Big Mac said it's around 5 to 10 for walnut up north.
I think it's probably, if I go to one of the local sawmills around here, if it's kiln dried, it's probably between 7 and 10. If it's not dried, it's going to be in the 5 to 7.
Yeah. I usually buy rough lumber anyway. I don't, I mean, I'll plane it myself, but it just seems to be a little more, it doesn't get all weird if it sits and it's been planed, because plain lumber tends to warp more than rough lumber does.
Roger, I don't know if you've ever been to it, but right between us, there's a wood auction a lot of guys go to. Have you seen that?
I've never heard of that. Not too far from us here on the Iowa side, Muscatine, Iowa, there's a sawmill that you can go down and you can buy different types of hardwood from.
Yeah, there's an
About 30
auction.
minutes from here.
I saw it on Facebook and people were sharing. I was like, wow, an auction for wood. That's pretty wild. To find the Facebook page and share it with you. Yeah, but they're in Illinois. Ohio. And I'm around I'm surrounded by Amish. you got a lot of competition is what you're saying.
Yeah. Tim, there's also Halifax specialty hardwoods. They're not, I don't like them as much, but their prices are better.
LTX Design said, Rick, once you get your CNC, if you need a line on hardwood for a good price, shoot me a message. I'll send you who I order through. Got it. I'm on it.
Yeah, this is how you find the best deals, right? There's
absolutely.
There's always somebody who knows somebody, the friend of a friend.
Absolutely. Oh, Rob, I love a good auction. This wood auction sounds like a place interesting. I actually work with Rob. Very cool that he joined the live. Thank you, Rob. Very cool.
I actually have a problem with auctions. I tend to do this too much.
You get an itchy ear?
Yeah.
And you buy a lot of things?
No, I thought that was crazy.
Then I get all the crap home and I'm looking at it, why the hell did I buy this? It was a good deal.
Yeah. Very cool. Big Macs, no, they hook me up with good cheaper than stores and they don't build what I build, so they buy my stuff. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's exciting. Normally I wouldn't publicly share, but I don't want to at all. There you go. No, that's cool. I appreciate the fact that even at least give me a tip on where to go. But the biggest problem with sharing prices is these videos are up forever, right? So 6 months from now, 2 years from now, they're like, well, LTX Design said it was $14.99. Dude, that was 2 years ago. A month can make a difference, let alone years or months, Empire Laser said, hey, everyone, sorry I'm late to the party. Better late than never.
Yeah,
thank you for joining. Rob said, I do the same. I buy too much stuff at auctions. I'm always selling stuff from the last one I went to.
Well, what I don't like about some of state auctions or farm auctions is, for example, there was a little benchtop joiner, little 4-inch Craftsman benchtop joiner, and it was kind of rusty looking, but I plugged it in, it did work, so I wanted to buy that at the auction. Well, they started out at $25. Nobody had bid. Well, I bid $2 on it, and it just stayed there. $2. I thought, man, I get this for $2. Then they start throwing in boxes of junk to go with it. So I ended up paying like $15 for it, and I had all these boxes of junk that pretty much all went in the trash can when I got home.
Well, you could have got some used socks and got some use out of them, Roger.
Yeah.
Use it as a dust collector. My autism wouldn't let me wear used socks.
Well, one of the things I ended up getting with this whole pile of stuff was a whole bunch of filters for like some type of shop vac that I didn't own, and I did sell those on Marketplace.
Nice.
But otherwise, most of it is like garden hoses that leaked and stuff like that. I mean, I don't need that kind of crap.
You know, one time the fire department came to my house because somebody called the fire department on me. I have this, I don't know, bonfire. Let's say the base of the fire is 45 feet wide, right? The fire department says, you legally can do this. It's not a problem. But do you mind bringing a hose out here? Now, mind you, my spigot is like 4 acres away, right? So I come walking with a hose. I'm like, all right, I got one. Like, all right, no problem. Take it easy, Rick. See you later. And my wife says, man, where'd you get that much hose? I said, there's nothing on the other end. I just dragged it over there. That was too funny. So the Amishes, they do cabins and framing. So I'm great with the Amish. Yeah, they're around us. They build a lot of garages, like those. You can buy a garage completely built and they drop it off. They do a lot of that around here.
And they send like 50 guys to come and put it together for you?
No, it's put together already.
Oh,
They literally have it like on the side of the road, a complete garage built. And then you buy it and they bring it to you.
in one piece?
In one piece. Yeah.
Wow.
It's completely built. You seen those, Rogers, at like Rural King or Farm and Fleet around here?
They do it around here with big sheds, and some of them are quite big.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. 3 minutes left in the live, guys. You guys have any questions? Let us know. Let us know. Appreciate everyone joining the live. Time flew by today. Had definitely some good, interesting conversations.
I hope by next week I'm done my project. So I got to get a video out. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I know. Same with me. I've just been posting our shorts. To be honest, I've been so busy destroying my wood shop preparing for this. So yeah, I have to make up for you. But like another CNC video. Like, hey,
Well,
man.
I did get part of my flip cart completed today. So the chop saw or the miter saw is on one side of it. Now I need to get the planer off the other cart and get it on the other side of it.
Well,
So 3 months from now, I might get that part done.
send the plans to Rick so he can make his laser CNC flip cart.
It's going to have to be a little bit bigger than mine, I bet.
Yeah, you just scale it up.
Yeah.
You know, when I built that table, that's what kind of, I mean, you're looking at YouTube, you're looking on their website, you see how big the CNC is, but it's hard to like picture. And then when you see the table, you're like, whoa. Like
It's big.
it's holy macro, it's big.
Well, you know, you'll be making custom CNC coffee tables and things, right? So
Yeah, it's crazy though. Yeah, it's
yeah.
definitely
See, I
big.
didn't get the 48 by 48. I got the 48 by 32 or 30. Yeah, I think it's 32.
Okay.
Because I didn't have room at the time I bought it. I didn't have room in my shop.
Yeah.
I have room now, unfortunately, but
Yeah, it's big.
I can do the upgrade though. Onefinity has a nice upgrade plan, so I could send in my short rails and get longer rails.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
1 minute left here in the live, guys. Any questions? Let us know. Let us know. Hey, Rob, thanks for joining the live. It's very cool, man. He's an engineer where I work with him. He's been saying, I'm not sure that he's caught at our live, but he definitely watches the replays. So very cool. You may have worked with him at some point in time too, Roger.
Well, hard telling. I've been all over the Midwest. If it had anything to do with power quality control or power quality monitoring, I probably got involved with it.
Yeah, I didn't mention who he worked for. I just said it probably did. You know what I mean? He works for a very big engineering firm, does a lot of work for our type of work. So very cool.
When I designed our house that we're in, I was working in the office with Raytheon, that build steel mills and paper mills and dams and just huge industrial complexes. And of course, the engineers were helping me out with these load designs on the house. And I went down to the county to get a permit for it. And they're like, well, where'd you get this? I drew it. Well, you can't just draw that. You have to have engineering stamps. So I went back into work the next day, and I told the guys I worked with, I says, they want engineering stamps on this. So my blueprints, I still have the original sets here, are all stamped with Raytheon engineering stamps. This is, so I take it back down to the county, and they're looking at it, you got to be shitting me. How'd you do that? I says, that's who I work with. Well, I had no problem getting permits.
Nice one. Look, guys, we're just that time. So I just want to thank you guys for joining the live. Appreciate everyone. And very sure who took the time to subscribe to our channels, join our Facebook page, and smash the like button as well. I want to say, Steve, remember, I don't live in Springfield, Ohio.
See,
my cats are safe.
See, I live the sheltered life of a Canadian, so I just assume everybody in Ohio eats cats.
And talk about going out with a bang, a good joke right at the end.
Well, it was lots of fun.
Yeah. Roger, you want to say anything on closeout?
No, we'll see everybody next week.
All right, guys.
Take care, everyone.
See you next week.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks, bye.